Today marks 1681st day of day lessons, day reflections. Yesterday I was speaking about meaning, but today I want to look into a little bit different angle and then ask a question: what is worthy of life? What is worthy of life? And I think that's a great question. Because I think when you're asking that question, you start to realize that not every single action that you do is worthy. And today I really want to share seven truths about really what is the worthy life. So number one is becoming someone you can respect. And this is the beautiful thing. Is not that I'm not saying that becoming somebody that other people respect. I say that becoming someone that you respect. And that's the beautiful thing. I think that we need to really seek our own respect first in front of all other things that we potentially could pursue. I think that when you really respect yourself, your standards are increased, the things that you tolerate disappears. You start making better decisions, better choices. You maybe even go to gym. You develop yourself better because you respect yourself. Because it's an interesting thing because when you not eat well, when you don't exercise, when you really don't take care of yourself, it's a lot of times is that you don't respect enough. You don't care about enough yourself to really do those things. So I think that the first thing is what is worthy of life is really building self-respect. Number two, loving people well. Loving people well. I think that's extremely important. Because when you love people, you serve people, you admire them, you add value to them, and I think that you have an unconditional love when you're able to really love people who they are, not what you want them to be. Because that's, I know that there's people who really love conditionally. And I think that loving well is one of the things that is worthy of our life. Being able to really have that quality time with people, add value to the act of service, like those five love languages, and being able to show the love how people want to be loved, and being able to be present. Because it's an interesting thing that loving people well, it seems that, oh, I love person. Loving person is, that's why it says love is verb and a noun at the same time. Love has a meaning, but at the same time, there is the actions that need to really follow. Because you can love person tremendously, but still, when you look at you, verb action love, you don't do that. You don't do that. That means that when we potentially could have a quality time, we grab a phone and we're not present. So that means that when we pursuing worthy life, we always need to ask like, what do I do with verb love, not just noun love? Because as I said, you can love somebody a lot, tremendously, still make terrible mistakes with your actions. Number three, carrying responsibility willingly. Carrying responsibility willingly. That means, of course, there will be a lot of things that might require responsibility. Family, kids, maybe parents, maybe job, maybe business, maybe community, maybe mission. And really, sometimes we could say that, oh, I'm tired of carrying that responsibility. And you really walk away from responsibilities and not seek responsibilities. I think that this again, this is a worthy life when you really pursue responsibility. Put something on your shoulders that people depend on you, that they could see that this person is accountable. I depend on him, and this responsibility is something that is making our life worthy of living. And I think that it's easy to really to detach from everything and walk away from responsibility and really look only after yourself, even though that at the moment it feels comfortable, at the moment it feels maybe even joy and pleasure, but in the long run I think that leads to unworthy life, because I think that every single person, no matter this, needs to have some form of responsibility. Number four, seeking truth even when inconvenient. And seeking truth, there are so many things. Truths about yourself. That's one thing that we need to seek as well, because sometimes we believe that we are a certain way, but we realize after 5 years, 10 years, that we are not who we thought we are. And then when you realize that, that means that you will need to change. You need to adapt. You need to make changes in your actions with the people that you are with. You'll need to change environments. You will need to do things that you never did before. So that seeking truth sometimes leads to you needing to change, even though that you might not want to change. You'll need to accept that. And that's of course that's within seeking truth. But at the same time, we'll need to really seek truth outside of us, with with the people around us, with the environments, with everything around us. If we need to really reflect on what is truth, because sometimes people in a community, in a family, or anywhere in the world does things certain way, and you deep down think that this is not the right way. People do that because they just do, because everyone is doing that way, and you feel that this way how everyone is doing is not right. And seeking that truth will require you to potentially isolate yourself for a very short period of time to understand, to be in a limbo, to learn. And I think that's again worthy of life, seeking the truth for yourself and for others to understand what truly matters. Number five, creating more than you consume. Creating more than you consume. And I think that's a beautiful thing. When you really start looking into how it could teach, build, write, help, serve, like if all things that really allow to influence people in a better way, in a good way. Because I think that majority of people are like 80% of people are consumers. What it means is that is I don't say that they don't create. I don't say that they are not building. I don't say that they don't really do something. I say that they consume more. And that's why because they consume more, they are consumers. And I think that we need to really learn how to really develop ability to learn how to produce more, how to create more, how to add value more. And I think that's become a worthy life of living when you really start to look into how it could really build. Because it doesn't matter what kind of skill set you have, what you're able to do, you're able to really use that skill set, that mastery to really serve people. And I think that's extremely important and worthy of living. Number six, developing your capacities, your skills, your masteries, the things that you're actually extremely good at, you may be gifted at. I think that's where sometimes people, talented people, don't develop their talents. And I think that it's our duty, responsibility. Again, this is when you're supposed to seek that responsibility to develop that skill set, that giftedness that we have. Because sometimes people don't want to have the dream, the vision, the gifts, because that means that you have a responsibility to develop them. If you don't have the gifts, if you don't have dream, you don't have vision, you can really sometimes take it easy. But when you have that vision with yourself and you have that aspiration, you know that there's something is calling you inside, and that responsibility asks you to develop those capacities. And that means that developing capacities is worthy of living. When you really know that you doing your best, maybe not at the level that you would love to, but you doing your best. That's is really worthy of living. And the last one, serving something beyond our comfort. What it means is that a lot of times when we're pursuing a vision that we have, if we set the vision, we're developing ourselves and really moving to that vision. But it seems extremely slow progress. And I think that's where is that the question is beyond our own comfort. And this is where most people stop, including myself. I think that we need to develop that ability to always move beyond our comfort, because we just tiptoe in our comforts. We just tiptoe a little bit outside of comfort. But when we're able to really execute always beyond our comfort, that's when a vision really is coming to us much, much faster than we ever imagined. And I think that this is a worthy of living when you're actually making so many mistakes because you always outside of your comfort zone. And again, when you really look into people and people who really make tremendous amount of mistakes, I admire them a lot because people who makes a lot of tremendous now, of course, I understand that they might be making mistakes because they don't think, don't reflect. But other type is that when you look into a person who's making different types of mistakes over and over, better and bigger mistakes, and making mistakes all the time, and you look into that they don't make the same mistakes over again, that those people are tremendously powerful because they're stretching themselves a lot. Now, of course, if a person making the same mistake over and over and over again, that means they don't reflect. But if a person is making bigger mistakes and bigger and bigger and bigger, that means that their comfort zone have increased so much. And I think that's again worthy of living when you really move beyond our comfort zone. It's a beautiful thing. I think that's a beautiful thing to reflect. What is worthy of living? And every single person will have a different answer. This is a topic where there is no right or wrong answer majority of the time. The only thing is that we need to really seek the truth within ourselves and then look into outward as well about how I could really use my truth to add value to other people because I think that's where the worthy life is. So I hope you choose win and see you tomorrow.